hear these youngins by the slang that I bid first, and I can't even get no credit for it. That shit hurt. Yeah, we been nerds, not the type to use big words. Still down to throw you if you throwing the fist first. Fail face, but every now and then I don't get curved. Still in the broken hearted that we get what we deserve. Freak show, they staring and don't ask for no pictures. Cause I'm a giant man like I'm Fishburne. Maybe cause I'm hotter than the grease with a fish burn. We're slacking now, I'm putting in that work like an intern. I probably won't gain lives like trading in your system. The game stopped. Don't really rap about what I ain't got. Been me since back when I could fit in the tank top. You think I'm ever changing? I think not. Hit the taco truck and I can show you the flame spots. They only taking cash and now I'm making the bank stop. Think cock, don't say a word, just open that safe lock. Now I'm playing the ATM, broken the rain. Why? Raindrops falling on my head. I hate cops, ain't talking to the feds. Zombie mode on a rocky road, walking like I'm dead. Need to pick me up that I will eat the chocolate with the bread. Still trash, just now me in my pockets getting fed. That's real rap, now I can pay for guac without a sweat. You feel that? Playlist full of Indian drill trap. Problems, I got 99 on me, I'm Lil Sap. But fucking never cried over spilled paps. Never crying over who spilled that. Young medicine man, and I'm looking to peel caps. Yeah. Put on the beat and I will snap. Put on the beat, I'ma kill that.
Good morning, you raggedy ass bitches. Nah, hey, hello, howdy. This is Ryne Radio. I meant to hit y'all last night. I was gonna interview my guy Punt, but I had to work like a fucking bitch last night, just all goddamn day and into the night, and that was pretty frustrating. So I just couldn't even do it, man. We had to cancel that shit. So what's up, folks? We're back in this motherfucker. We got a good one for you right now, though. I'm gonna be going live twice today, because, well, for one, I planned that anyway, but for two, also to make up for last night. But right now, I'm gonna be FaceTiming Louis Spencer of the Daily Dose podcast. I'm pretty sure his battle rap name is SirSpence. I seen that on the thing. Yeah, Punt. I'm gonna hit you right after this, my guy. I pretty much was up, like, I got home super late from work, and then I got wrapped up in watching The Disaster Artist, because I never seen it, and then I seen a documentary on psychedelics, and then before you know it, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, hey, I gotta go to bed, because I'm supposed to be interviewing people, so, and I gotta hit you as well. But, yeah, we're about to call Louis. I just touched in with him beforehand just to make sure the shit worked. I've never met this guy, to be honest. Obviously, because I've never traveled. I've barely even seen any of the United States, to be honest. I haven't even been to Southern California. Like, I grew up in Central California. I live in the Bay Area now. I've been as far north as Bellingham, Washington. I've been to Nevada. I've been to New Mexico. But I've never been to any other country, so I've definitely never met Louis. See, I'm not even. I should have probably cleared that with him beforehand, whether I should call him by his real name or his rap name. We don't talk about that. But I never met him before. But he hosts the Daily Dose podcast, and during these quarantine times, he's been like, just hustling. He pretty much just been hitting up every single folk he can, and like he's been pulling some pretty big guests. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn the fucking tables on him, and I'm just gonna bring him in this motherfucker, and we're gonna just talk to him about his show. How the turntables. So yeah, let's call up the boy. Let's get him in here. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Howdy, sir.
Yo, how's it going?
We're back once again. How you doing, my guy?
All good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Oops. Hold on. I'm fucking up here. There we go. I gotta get you in the screen right. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm doing good, my guy. Yeah, like we touched bases just beforehand. I was just telling these folks right now in the live chat, like obviously we haven't met before because we're across the pond, as they say. Uh, so I mean, like, first of all, it's awesome that you've been doing your show, and it's awesome that you just had the like mindset of like, oh, hey, everyone's inside. Like, let me just hit up everybody then, because a phone call or a FaceTime is the thing to do right now. I mean, like, this is what they're doing on like on news right now. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of open field for all of us that just have access to a podcast or like a live show of some kind. So, but even before your show, where do you like? And I should have cleared this with you beforehand, like, because you rap too, right? Like, you got into this like as a battle rapper before doing the show.
Well, yes and no. It's a bit of a weird one. So, I've kind of been following battle rap now for probably about 11 to 12 years, and just never really had the chance to get involved properly, other than going to a few events here and there. And then I've recently started a new career where I've got a lot more free time, and I did my first battle sort of 2 or 3 weeks after I started doing the podcast.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, so I you aware of Premier Battles, so Shotty Horror and
Yeah.
They do a separate kind of event called the Academy Series,
Okay.
which kind of up and comers and newcomers to battle rap enter like a tournament type thing. So I've entered that this year. That will be my first battle live in a venue is going to be 3 weeks time. But yeah, apart from that, I've got no experience with. I've never particularly rapped much before. I've never battled in a. I've done kind of a few very short freestyle battles when drunk outside events and stuff like that, but never ever kind of serious, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, because like honestly, I'm 5 years deep, and I don't even consider myself a serious battle rapper, like, because I never really like done the music too much or anything like that. Like, I just always. It was just always a thing of like, I think I could do that. And then I did it, and like I won my tryout. I'm like, well shit. Like, and this was just fun to where it's like, all right, I guess I'm just going to keep doing this thing. Cause it's like, I like the puzzle of the words and clicking punchlines into place and all of that. And just, but even now, like, there's people that I see do this because I've always understood it to be like a perfect promotional vehicle for any other thing you want to be involved in. So if you do music, naturally you can promote a lot of your music through your battling if you work it right. Or, like, there's kind of a lane now opening up like what we're doing as far as the podcasting. Like, people, I don't know, there's something about podcasting where it's like it doesn't really matter what you are doing, but if you're talking about it and like recording all of it, people like to see it, especially if you're staying consistent with it. So for like someone like you to like start the podcast and then just be like, all right, let's just start battling too, because then that's like a fun track for like fans, because like if you keep going with it, then it's like you kind of recorded the whole journey of it while doing your podcast too.
That's it, yeah. And it's, for me personally, like so before all this, I've had 5 other tryouts booked in the last about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I've been no-showed twice. I've had events cancelled on me beforehand. I've had like all sorts has just gone wrong with actually getting in the ring. So
yeah,
it got to a point where I'd never wanted to enter the Premier Battles Academy because I couldn't kind of guarantee that I was available to battle every 2 months, whereas everything's kind of fallen into place with life now, so I can just kind of commit to jump in, really.
So that's like a mandate to them. Like if you want to do like their academy program, you have to battle every like few months.
Yeah, so essentially you have the qualifying round, which was, I want to say, 28 battlers. They picked 14 of those 28 to go through, and then they picked one. So it's split into two teams. It's kind of like a tournament. Um, each team manager picks 7 battlers each from the tryouts, and then they picked one wild card each, which is someone that was in the tournament in a previous year. And then you get split into 2 teams of 8. The matchups come from you'll battle someone from the opposite team, and you do kind of the first round, which is going to be in 3 weeks. The quarterfinals will then be 6 to 7 weeks later, and then you'll have the semi-finals, and then the final will be on Apex, which is kind of Premier Battle's big yearly event.
Wow, see that's see, and I'm pretty not arrogant, ignorant to what like UK battle rap has become, because it's interesting enough, and I've said it a lot on this show. Mark Griss versus Blizzard's the first like written battle that I've seen to where I understood that there's leagues and things like that. I was like, oh, this is like pro wrestling. Like I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then of course, like after just seeing that one battle, I learned everything else. And then like, of course, being in California, I was like, oh yeah, this is popping off over here too, for sure.
Yeah, it's the UK scene, generally speaking, until I'd say about 2 and a bit years ago, it was basically solely Don't Flop. They were
yeah
doing big events over here, and if I'm completely honest, in the last it's getting back to normal now, but in the last few years, the UK scene it's been quite hard to follow.
Yeah.
Don't Flop kind of there was a big fallout between staff members, so they stopped doing events for a while, and they're slowly rebuilding. They're getting back to throwing really fun events again and stuff, and then you've kind of got Premier Battles that have taken over as the more of the main league in the UK.
Yeah, especially with like, because that just what you laid out right there seems very ambitious. It's like, especially from like, because it's like I've only thrown one event myself that I like booked all the battles, did the promotional and all those things, and fucking even just that one to make that like happen successfully was like a kind of huge undertaking in some ways. And it was just like, I couldn't even imagine like having like a strict, but it's also good too, because it's like it really weeds out, because it probably weeds out a lot of those people that would just like, all right, if you're not going to show up, then all right, well, fuck off. Like you got to do the whole stretch if you want to, like, so it's like, I think it's a little better as far as like establishing like an actual pathway to something within the scene, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. And Premier Battles have had a bit of a difficult time. I don't know if you're aware of the kind of the situation last year with their big Apex event.
No.
The original card was Shotty Horror versus Tay Rock. New Jersey Twerk versus Bobby Rex. JC versus Tony D. Real Deal versus Jay Short. And there was another battle. Chef Trez versus Shocks the Rebel. And I want to say about 6 weeks before the event was meant to happen, all of the American battlers, bar Real Deal, pulled out of the event.
Yeah. Okay. I think I might have remembered this actually because I think it was a big deal because I think I seen other guys like, oh hey, if they ain't gonna show up, I'll hit a flight and do this like on short prep or some shit like that. I seen a couple
Yeah.
people trying to like say that.
Yeah, and it ended up being kind of Mad Flex came over, Red Flag, Chiller Jones, and A-Wards were the four that ended up coming over as replacements.
Wow, because now all of those guys are like, probably because of that move, they've been doing a lot more. They've been like having a lot more, like especially Red Flag. I've been seeing Red Flag go over there a lot more, and fucking A-Ward's going over there more. Like, so it's like it shows just those little things as far as like how there's a lot of this that's just networking and good business. And as long as you're staying consistent with your talent and like developing your craft, as long as you're not fucking burning bridges out here and reaching out to the right folks where you can, like it just goes to show you, because it's like now like every single one of those names you just said like are like popping in even a bigger way, probably because of now they've had the international look, so they're growing their fan bases in other areas.
Yeah, and it was good for the UK scene in a way as well, because I mean, Red Flag versus Raptor happened at that event in the end, and I think it was booked 15 days before the event happened, and it was probably Battle of the Night still. Red Flag put on an amazing performance, it led to the UK kind of looking at international opponents different, whereas we'd have normally, back in the Don't Plot days, we'd have had Charlie Clips and DNA on every card pretty much.
Yeah.
We then started to book maybe the lesser known artists battlers overall, but battlers that would put on an amazing performance. Real Sick came over not long after.
Yeah, and he's great too.
Yeah, really strong. And we started booking people like Oops. Mad Flex has been over here quite a few times now, and it's good to see.
Yeah, no, because of Mad Flex, there's a great picture of this belt with the Premier Battle League belt.
Yeah,
and I like, cause like I run the bots Instagram for the past few years, and like they tagged us in that, and I was like, wow, that's fucking cool, man. Like just like see the belts like right next to each other like that. That was great, cause it's like I said, I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, so it's like when I started like getting involved more with like trying to book battles for bots and things like that, like we were trying to reboot things like all of this like at the beginning of this year, and like that was my first thing. I was like, we're not a battle rap league no more, we're a battle rap promotion, like we're a fucking wrestling federation now, like fucking, because I was even trying to establish like, because the belt's been vacated, so like I've been even trying to establish something along the lines of what you just said with the UK Premier, the Academy system. Like I wanted to do kind of these like series of, you know, different battles, fans vote for each performance of the night from those different events, and then each one of those performance of the night winners are entered into a tournament. Winner of the tournament gets the belt. But all this COVID and Corona stuff happened, so it's like that put a lot of things on a standstill, but we're the kings of pivot over here, so we just like, all right, well, we're gonna take everything out of the studio and we're just gonna throw it in the spare room here, and we're just keep the train rolling in other ways. So that's why we've been doing way more. I've been definitely going harder on the podcasting because it's right here in my house, so it's like fuck it. But that brings me to like fucking, so you've only really been involved in, because it's like your show, I went back, it's like what, pretty much like beginning of this year towards the end of last year, right?
No, so I started doing it, it will be probably about 11 weeks ago.
Holy shit, dude. So yeah, I mean, like, how long of a...
the 1st of April.
Holy shit, man. Like, what? So, like, just really all those things as far as, like, your free time opened up a little more, and you just always been a fan, so you're like, you know, I'm just going to start going hard in on this. Like, was there any, like, specific thing that, like, really drew you to it?
So I've kind of been a big fan of listening to things like. Are you aware of Battle Rap Resume, another UK podcast?
No.
Battle Rap Resume is good. It's another kind of long form battle rap podcast where they kind of discuss. They'll have a guest on, and the battler will discuss like all the battles that they've done previously.
Okay.
And yeah, they've had some good guests on there like Mad Flex, Chiller Jones, Sue Surf, people like that. It's been really interesting, but the guy that runs I think about 5 or 6 different podcasts. He's kind of the content isn't as regular as it once was. He only releases maybe 1 or 2 episodes a month now.
Yeah.
And but there just wasn't really any UK based podcasts and any way of UK battlers getting to kind of talk about it. So I've been like, I'm not working through lockdown, so I've had a lot of free time for the last few months, whereas my girlfriend still works from home. So
yeah.
during the days, it was just one of those where I thought, I'm not doing anything productive. I may as well try and put some content together.
Yeah, because I was listening to your episode with Laughing Stock, and you were saying that you guys are only allowed an hour outside every single day.
Yeah, so that's recently changed.
Okay.
We were, for the first about 10 weeks of lockdown, we were only allowed outside of the house for an hour.
Yeah, see, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like where we're at here, but like they did like lock. So what they did here was just a matter of they're like, okay, you should be inside, but if you're like working or going grocery shopping, it's whatever. And it's like I never really seen many people getting like harassed over here for just being out and about, because like nobody was at work, so it's like everybody's just out walking through the neighborhood and shit like that, especially because like the weather fucking started getting just like better and better throughout this whole process too, because we went from like kind of the end of winter, early spring, to now like kind of summer during this whole time. So it's like everybody's just out and about, and it's like, yeah, that's very bizarre for the whole like 1 hour thing. Like that's wild. Like I couldn't really imagine, because like I don't know, like I said, I grew up in Central California and I'm in the Bay Area now. So it's like where we're at specifically, it's a lot of like, oh, there's a no trespassing sign, so that's the good place to go trespass. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not really like shit's not really enforced the way like fucking it's not like things aren't very stringent, I guess, always. So that kind of blew my mind when you guys were talking about that. But it's interesting too, because now, because of all of this and because you've been going so hard on the show, when everything's gonna get like kind of back into the swing of things, you'll probably even get like better battle opportunities now, just based off of like being consistent with the media, because that's like that does a lot for everything.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, so I entered the Premier Battles Academy back in, I think it would have been December.
Oh no! What happened? Hold on. Call dropped. What? It is international. Let me make sure. Okay, the number right there. Hey, what's up? Sorry, I think the call dropped on my end.
Ah, no worries, man. Yeah. With the academy, I mean, I think I submitted the application in maybe December time, and then I'm not, because of like Corona and stuff. They delayed it for quite a while, and we didn't find out until of April, I think. But I'm not 100% sure if I'd have got into the academy or not without it, because there's only 3 brand newcomers in it this year. I'm of those 3, so yeah, I think it has helped in certain like extents. And I mean, the goal for me with battle rap is to kind of travel as much as I can as well. Like I've still never been to America, so I'm hoping sometime next year when I've got a few more battles under my belt to come over for a couple of months maybe and just go on a couple of different leagues and stuff like that and just see where it takes me really.
See, that's probably a really great way to go about it as far as like if you're going to do that far of a trip, you might as well like make a semi tour out of it. Cause like there is enough leagues over here, especially like when things are kind of normal, I guess, or whatever's normal anymore. But like when the leagues were all at their peak over here, like you could pretty much book something damn near every single month over here. So, or like even like every single week, like, cause there'd be a lot of times where we book an event, go to like everything leads up to it. And then like everyone at the event's like, oh, you hear fucking, the other fucking folks are having an event today too. And like, God damn it. Like, but it's just like, yeah, battle rap's pretty strong over here. It's like, that's why I said a lot of it reminds me of just like indie fucking wrestling. Cause it's like, you can find a league of any, you know, from any small league to big league in almost any state now over here. It's nuts. But, who's like some of the folk, like, where does this start for you? Like, where did you get first introduced to battle rap? Like just being in the UK?
So the first battle that I ever saw was O'Shea versus Lego.
Nice.
I think it's one of it might be Don't Flop's second ever event. So it would have been kind of early 2009, I think, and I was still in what we call high school over here, so I would have been 13 or 14 at the time. And I was a big kind of grime music fan. I don't know if you guys are aware of grime music over there.
I'm aware of it, but only through watching UK battle rap like for a while. Cause I was like into Don't Flop. I was staying consistent with Don't Flop for a good while. Like pretty much right after the Caustic versus Jeffrey Price event, I was like staying consistent with Don't Flop for about a year. So then like I was introduced to like, cause they started having like the grime battles and stuff. I was like, what in the fuck? That blew my doors.
So, like, with the grime clashes, it was. I think I was watching. We used to have like a big grime clash kind of league that it was more. It was more kind of the old Smack DVD era where they do grime clashes between kind of the biggest names in the grime scene and release DVDs of it. It was a platform called Lord of the Mics. And when they started uploading clashes to YouTube, so you had like Skepta versus Dead, who were two huge names in the grime scene. O'Shea versus Lego came up in like the related videos section. So it was like, I think Don't Flop used to label their videos with like proper clickbaity stuff. So it was like UK versus UK. Hilarious Scouse Liverpool rap battler and stuff like that. So I just clicked like out of the blue, and at first I think I made the mistake a lot of people made where I thought it was all freestyle. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. How are these guys doing it? And then kind of crawled further down the rabbit hole and realized that there was a little bit of a scene emerging here, and was lucky enough, I guess, to kind of see it really reach its peak as well.
Yeah. So I mean, like, who's like outside of like that first battle you've seen, was there any other like big influences to where like that like really made you want to like kind of cater your style in a certain way or something like that?
Yeah, I'd say O'Shea definitely, and then in terms of UK guys, because I didn't really find anything other than Don't Flop for the first kind of 6-7 months that I was watching battle rap. So people like the Calcium Kid,
Oh yeah.
Mickey Worthless, Bowski, people like that back in the day were just characters. Like doesn't matter the size of the event, they controlled the room, kind of thing, and eventually led to kind of the grind time era and discovering like your thesauruses and your Pat Stays. And
Yeah.
I'd say Pat Stay would probably be the biggest kind of influence on the way that I approach battling, in the sense of I'm 6'6" and quite big.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's. I've always watched him quite closely, but yeah, pretty much everyone, man. Like I've just over the years just become a big fan of loads of different people in that sense. Like my top 3 favorite battlers would probably be the broadest selection ever, because I'd probably have to say O'Shea, Saurus, and Pat Stay.
Oh wow. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that is pretty broad, but like it covers a lot of. It's like what you were saying as far as like they knew, like just knowing, like people that know how to control a room and like put their like, it's a character, but it's them just hyped up, but it's to a point where it's like you make a character out of yourself and put that forward, and it's like it's important that you already recognize that too, because. Like I talked to my guy Ohms a lot. I don't know if you're familiar with Ohms. He's done a lot of battles on bots. Because he's just very much a character, and me and him talk about that all the time. He's like, he's saying you could lose a battle to like some like super hippity hoppity rippity rappity person, but like you could just be way more entertaining than that person, and still like that's just what they're gonna remember, and that's what they're gonna take away from that. So it's like there's a fine balance you want to do as far as like taking yourself seriously, but not so seriously that you can like lose your own moment to someone that's just being comfortable and not being super serious, you know? So yeah, it's important that you already see the power of that though. I'm trying to think too, cause it's like I've just been listening to a couple episodes of yours too. Cause it's like, you're based in like Cardiff now, you said?
Yeah. So I'm based in Cardiff, which is in Wales.
Yeah. So you're kind of like I heard you were saying on an episode, like there's kind of funk there, like as far as like you being like more English and like just being in Wales. Like what's that like? And then especially like, is there like what's the battle rap scene like in Wales kind of versus like England?
To be completely honest, there isn't a battle rap in Wales now. There was a league here that stopped doing events probably about 2 years ago, but they were small room events, and it's unfortunately with Cardiff, like. I tried to do an event myself in October last year.
Yeah.
And I think it was about 8 to 10 weeks before the event was meant to happen, the venue contacted me to say that they'd been in contact with the police, and the police had advised them not to throw the event.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's back years ago there was a promoter that was throwing occasional battle events that had kind of caused a lot of problems with venues, and it's as a result the police aren't really willing to have events here.
I mean, like, fuck, that's interesting, because like I haven't really because like we throw events in San Jose, and sometimes there's just like weird funk with like venue owners. Like there's a lot of venue owners out here that don't want like quote unquote hip hop, you know? And like they that's like a broad umbrella term they use to just try to like limit, you know, like, oh no, we don't want the hip hop crowd here. And it's like, oh, okay, I see what you mean, you know, kind of shit. And like especially it's even worse like up northwest, because I remember like being in north like Washington area trying to go to bars, and there's like dress codes and shit as far as like not like having sagging pants and shit like that. So it's kind of interesting like that battle rap kind of gets that rap, but I get it because people that aren't used to it, especially because out here, I've done battles for Power and Respect, which is kind of more Central Cali based, and they would like, we've done it at bots though too, where like we'll just take over a bar that's not necessarily like, sometimes we'll have like strict events where it's anyone in this crowd is here for the battle rap, but then sometimes we'll just take over bars where there's like a half a crowd that's just there to be at the bar and have no idea what's going on in the background. And then like they just look over and someone's just like, well, you motherfucker. Like, you know, that's just like we're swearing hella and we're just saying hella wild shit and we're being hella obnoxious and making hella noise. So it's like, I get that. And that's why I was kind of curious too, because it's like, is it all pretty much just in England then? Or like, I mean, I've seen Ireland's kind of popping off to some degree too, right?
Yeah. Ireland's got kind of a really exciting scene right now. They're throwing some really strong events. Apart from that, you'll get an odd event in small cities maybe once a year, but generally speaking, you have to go to either London or Manchester to see an event.
And how far away are those from you?
London takes about 4 hours on a coach, whereas Manchester probably takes about 5 hours. But the issue is that I can get a coach from Cardiff to London for probably about $20. Like it's cheap to get to London, but
damn,
Manchester would probably be about $150 maybe.
And I'm ignorant. Those are like trains, right? Yeah, no, yeah, okay. Someone in my chat just said that right now. He said a coach equals a train for us Yanks. Yeah, no, I've always been jealous of it, like just being American, and I'll read shit from like other places and everybody's just like, oh yeah, I just hopped a train for like $10-20 or whatever, and I just fucking go like halfway across the country and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, that must be great. Like, because we kind of have
what you guys call coaches. Is it Greyhounds?
Well, Greyhounds are buses. Yeah, Greyhounds are buses here, but like,
yeah, what are coaches over here?
Oh, okay. But like, I bet your shit's like probably not like fucking what a Greyhound is over here, because that shit's just like almost just like barely like a school bus in many ways over here. So it's like no, like folks don't really fuck with, and just America's big as fuck too. So it's like I'll hear about battlers taking a bus from like, you know, like one side of the country to the other. I'm just like, geez, like you would have, like over here flying is like the biggest thing for sure. It's like, because it's like, yeah, I'll just fly to Washington. That's an hour away on a flight, but it's like a 13-hour drive. So it's like, oh yeah, fuck that. Yeah, no, I'm always jealous about just hearing like international fucking shit, because we don't really have like, I don't know, we get a lot of cool shit over here, but we don't have our shit together in other ways. Because like even our like trains, we have like Caltrans stuff out here, but I never really fucked with that neither. And you know, we had to kill a lot of people to make trains, so that's always kind of weird. So shit though, like, and what's in Ireland though? Is that still like pretty much the Premier League over there too, or is that some other shit?
Ireland is its rap is full.
Oh, okay.
And they've gone about everything the right way, in that they've built a really talented crop of like homegrown battlers before starting to branch out and book any international battlers to come over.
Yeah.
So they've got like experienced battlers to put up against a big international, say. So I know they've recently booked Sharon to go over and battle a guy called Nugget. Nugget recently battled Thesaurus and did really well there. Yeah, it's a good scene over there, man. I've not been over there myself because you can either kind of get a flight would take about an hour and a half maybe, or if you want to do it cheap, you can get a coat or get a Greyhound, but it takes about 12, 13 hours.
Oh shit.
And you have to get a ferry in between and stuff. So
yeah, that's like a fucking. It's like that's like a quest at that point. Fuck.
Yeah, and also Dublin's like seriously expensive. So, like, I was looking at going over for their big event in February, just gone. I had to cancel the trip like a week before I was meant to go, but the hotel that I got was probably about $350 for 2 nights, which over here is quite a lot. Like,
yeah.
you could get a hotel in London for about $150 or so. So
what?
It's an expensive weekend away to go to Ireland.
Damn. So what is like Ireland like your guys' Florida or something? Like that's like the vacation. Yeah. That's like a small vacation spot in some way.
Pretty much.
I mean, is it like?
But yeah, similar thing.
Is it like sunnier over there or something like that, or?
No.
No.
Say great. But...
yeah, because you guys are just like, pretty much all you guys, right? Like everywhere, there's not really. I mean, even in Scotland, right? Like that's pretty like. Kind of rainy and all that shit too.
Oh yeah, Scotland's worse than England. Definitely, it's Scotland get more snow than we do, I think. But
jeez, and they did they have a rap scene up there too?
Yeah, they do. So I'd say two of the top 5 UK battlers, in my opinion, are Scottish.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, cause Soul.
Yeah,
that's right.
Respect BA is from Scotland as well. They've got a league up there at the moment called Iron Bars, which again, right now they're kind of doing like small room events, but they're more focused on building their own big crop of battlers. But when Don't Flop used to do events in Scotland, the atmosphere was insane. Like, it was probably one of the most fun places to go for battle rap events.
Yeah, and I remember because when I was watching Don't Flop, I even tried to watch like some of the older stuff, and like I never really understood what was the whole like Don't Flop North, Don't Flop South like thing. Like, was that just like an England thing, or was that like a UK thing as a whole, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was basically Don't Flop South was London, Brighton, and Norwich, and then Don't Flop North was like Manchester,
oh, okay,
Liverpool, Leeds, and Newcastle.
Yeah,
but we don't have like that many big cities anyway, so
yeah, no.
It's hard to explain, I guess, but
because I legit was like, when I woke up this morning, I was like, oh yeah, I'm interviewing my guy, and then I'm like, yeah, he's from UK, and he says he's from Cardiff, I've heard. I was like, I legit looked at a fucking map this morning just to be like, oh, okay, I see kind of what's going on here, all right, because it's like, I mean, I always kind of understood that it was like the 3 different like islands and shit, just all fucking like, well, the 2 are like right next to each other, but it was just all like a weird agreement between you guys. It's like it's kind of like what the United States is in many ways, because it's like over here, every single state is like super wildly different from each other, especially even just California, because like even Laughenstock was saying that like there's like north, central, and south, and it's very like, because like, yeah, even from where I'm at in the Bay Area, I can drive, I mean, shit, even like even within those, like, because North, like, that's like pretty much Bay Area all the way up almost to Oregon, where it's like that's more like Sasquatch country and fucking just straight forest and all that shit. Whereas like the Bay Area is way like, you know, we're way more city and fucking all that shit. So it's like, yeah, that's funny how like, but you guys always, it seems like over there's just always been good about like branding and being like, oh yeah, we're like, this is this squad and this is this squad. And like, cause even the Premier League has like teams almost like football clubs, right?
Yeah, that's they've just stopped doing that concept. So they did that for the first 2 years, but I think they felt that it was kind of limiting matchup opportunities.
Yeah.
They had 6 teams, which had, I think, like 5 battlers in each team, and one team would battle another team for an event, so you could only put those against the other 5 people to make an event, and it kind of lost the narrative in that sense. But they're not going to be doing that anymore. They're kind of more focused on just getting as many of the big UK names as possible on as many cards as possible, I guess.
That's what's up. Yeah, because that does sound like a great idea in theory, but like, yeah, you just like said, like, you're limiting your combinations of battles that you can put on, because then it's like, all right, this team versus this team, and then like, all right, this team versus this team again, but instead we're just gonna do, you know, that first battle and that last battle, those guys are just going to battle each other now, instead of, you know, it's like, it's just these like weird, you're just like making combinations for the sake of combinations, rather than like just making like what you like is probably just a good like stylistic matchup or something like that. So, I mean, is there like a clear, like, because since the, like that academy system is like so clear cut, is there like a path to like the title in like a same sort of manner as far as like certain prerequisites or something like that?
Yeah, so I think what they did at first was, because the way that they marketed the football side of things at first was really good, because each team had its own merchandise and stuff, so it was bringing quite a lot of money in. But they were basing it off like a league table system. So there was a league table for, I think there was a league table for the teams, and then a league table for the battles. And the current Premier Battles champion is Mata.
Oh, okay.
And Mata was one that was battling the most consistently, and he also didn't lose a battle, so it just kind of made sense to put him for the title shot. And then they matched him up against O'Shea, just because, I mean, O'Shea's kind of the biggest name over here.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
He's been around the longest. Everyone's aware of him, and also him versus Mata makes sense stylistically. So they just put together.
I actually like quote O'Shea shit sometimes, just like out of context for no reason, to people that have no idea. Like, fucking, I always tell people like I'm old school, like an old school. Like that's hilarious still to me.
Yeah, he's the best, man. Really.
Or fucking, what is it, like he used to shit on a shark? I remember that shit. Like that was during the time, like, yeah, the shit on the shark is like right around the time I was like peak in actually staying consistent with a lot of the UK scene, like to the point where like I'm pretty sure I still have Calcium Kid on my Facebook, and like I used to just like, I don't know, I used to have a thing about like just telling every single person on my Facebook happy birthday, just whatever, and like for whatever reason he would reply back to like every single time it was my birthday. So it was like this weird correspondence we had. I might have to try to get him on here too, because that's another guy that has stuck out to me as far as like just being entertaining and being a character, because the shit that he would say, especially like, what is it, like that him versus pamphlet battle or something like that, like both of those guys are just saying like the wildest shit. But say somebody's watching this and they're not familiar with like UK battle rap whatsoever, what's a couple battles that you would put them onto if you were going to show somebody?
I'd say O'Shea versus the Calcium Kids.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
I would say Wizard versus Ogmios.
Okay.
The Wizard is kind of he has everything he says is either related to it's either gun bars or talking about how much money he's got, but he does it in a very witty way. So I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head now. He'll say like, so over here, if like UK slang would be, if you've got a lot of money, you'd say I've got bare money.
Okay.
And he had this this bar that was like, your chick loves to suck me off. She gives me bare head against the wall like a hunter's lodge. The whole room absolutely erupted. Like he's hilarious. Wants to be, and he's got like him and Scissors are a 2-on-2, and they battled Shuffle T and Marlowe, and they're probably the only 2-on-2 to ever beat Shuffle and Marlowe, in my opinion.
Oh shit.
So yeah, they're worth checking out. I'd say Shuffle and Marlowe versus Dialect and Zen.
Yeah.
Is amazing. And then for people that are kind of more bar heavy, like bars over jokes or whatever, I'd probably say Soul versus Raptor. I'd say Tony D versus O'Shea.
Yeah, that's a fucking. I remember that one when that happened. I think I was like still watching pretty consistently too. That is a good one.
That's amazing. Obviously, Shotty Horror versus Arsenal is.
Oh yeah. I think that was one of the first ones because it's like I seen like the Blizzard versus Mark Grist, and then I seen like after that I was like it made me go to the Don't Flop channel. So then I seen Caustic versus Jeffrey Price, and then after that I seen Shotty Horror versus Arsenal, and I was like, wow, some of these fucking UK dudes are great. And then I seen that interview like a few years later where Shotty's like, yeah, man, I was fucking on Molly. I was rolling like super fucking hard during that battle. I was like, that makes so much sense. Because like I remember watching that battle back and being like, why are they so aggressive? Like, why are they so like I understand being a little fucking with the bravado, but it's like, yo, why are they so fucking in each other's face so much? Jesus. But it's like, that's like a timeless battle though. Like you could probably still pull that up and it's be like, whoa, what's this battle rap thing? Like, yeah, no, that's definitely a great shout out. But fuck yeah, man, we pretty much been an hour deep. Do you want to shout out the show? Make sure folks know how to follow it. And is there like a particular episode that is like been a standout favorite of yours of that so far?
I'd say for me, if I had like, I've genuinely enjoyed every episode that I've released so far. It's been a lot of fun. Thesaurus would probably stand out as one of the big ones, just because getting to sit down and just have a one-to-one conversation with Saurus for 3 hours was amazing. Like, obviously, if anyone's experienced everything in battle rap, it's kind of that man. So it was good. And then, yeah, I mean, I really like the last episode. Probably one of the funniest people I've ever spoken to. You can hear me giggling like a little girl halfway through. Yeah, man, just all of them. Like, they've all been really good fun. There's a lot of way as well. Been chatting to Pat Stay earlier today. So
oh shit!
I'm gonna try and get Pat on soon. Killer's coming on tomorrow night. Yeah, man.
Do Do you have like a specific schedule? Like do you like drop at like a certain day or a time, or you just like, oh yeah, no, episode's up, go get it?
So I'm off work for at least another 4 weeks, in terms of full time work anyway. So I'm trying to get as many episodes as possible done before I go back to work. And I've got like an online calendar that takes time zones into account. So
Yeah.
I'm still, generally speaking, still doing 2 episodes every day. So I just want it works and book it in through that, really.
Fuck yeah, man. That's awesome. I like to hear shit like that. Like, just keep fucking hustling, man. Because like I've learned too. It's like I didn't necessarily really mean to go live every single day, but once I have, like, people are starting to really fuck with it, and then I'm reaching out to more folks to have onto the show, so it's making me like just get better about doing the whole process and, you know, booking people and all that good noise. But that's at Daily Dose Media on YouTube, right?
That's it. Yeah, Daily Dose Media on YouTube. Follow the socials. Got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook pages. We're up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts now as well, so you can listen on the go.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Thank you very much for being on, sir. I hope you fucking stay safe and just keep on hustling, man. Your work is already speaking for itself.
I appreciate it, man, and thank you very much for the opportunity, mate. I appreciate it, and yeah, I'm enjoying your content as well. So
fuck yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, sir. Have a good night, man.
You too. Take care, man.
Oh yeah. Fuck motherfucking yeah, folks. That's how that's done. Yeah, that was really great. I never met Boy before, obviously. Like I said, I keep saying he live across the pond, but I fuck with the show. I love podcasts, man. Like, I be at work fucking, you know, doing this thing all the goddamn time. So, you know, it's always nice to have, like, it's always nice just to listen to people have like one-on-one conversations, and it's always nice to just have those conversations too, especially like, you know, I've always loosely followed the UK scene and whatnot, but it's nothing like being able to like actually have a sit down conversation with someone that's like actively in it, and to a degree where they're hosting a show. So it's like, you know, like sometimes like you could have certain conversations with certain people but you might not be able to like get like all enough information that like you maybe want out of your questions. But I knew somebody that does a show, he'd probably be a great person to ask, just being a fan of the scene for so long and then just being over there doing the show. Obviously he can tell us a lot. And like I said, I kind of fell off on the UK scene, not like in a like fuck them or shady sort of way, just like, you know, I got involved more in my scene over here, so it's just like I didn't keep up with enough, so I kind of missed that whole beginning stage of Premier Battle League and whatnot. But yeah, shout out to the boy once again. I appreciate him for coming on. I thought it was a pretty good conversation, man. Like, it really flew by. And I'm gonna be going live again today, probably around 5-6 o'clock ish. Your boy be tongue-tied all the time. Keegan's going to come through here. So we're going to be just talking about fucking what he's been up to. We'll probably watch Maniacal versus Miggy and just fucking, you know, make sure we show a little more love to that shit. And yeah, I'll be right back, folks. Fucking, we're going to be doing the thing. You raggedy bitch. Stay tuned.